Hey, how's it going? Ryan here. It's at triathlon.com. We're live doing some quick tips talking about how many workouts per week should I be doing. And if you're listening to this, you might hear my kids doing a workout here in the basement in the background. So please excuse the background noise if you hear any. But anyway, we're going to talk about I get a lot of questions. How many swim, bikes, or runs per week should I be doing to get ready for my race? It's kind of a loaded question because it's a little bit dependent upon the distance of the race you're doing, and it's just dependent on where you are in your workout routine, your schedule, availability, and all that kind of stuff. But I'll give you some just general ideas of what you should be aiming for is when you're doing your workouts, getting ready for triathlons and maybe the longer distance 70.3s or full Ironman. And hopefully this helps you out. With anything, I'm doing this live right now, so if you have any comments, you can put them in the comments. I'll see if I can answer them while we're going along. Or if you come in this later, you can put a comment in your Facebook, YouTube, wherever you see this, and I'll try to answer back any questions you might have. So for the quick first tip, for how many times a week should I shoot for each type of workout? For swim, bike, and run, I recommend at least 3 of each per week. So that's going to be already, just to start with, 9 workouts per week. And obviously, there's 7 days in a week, so there's going to be some opportunities for 2-a-days, which is kind of hard for a lot of people to do. But I'll hit some other quick points that will kind of help you to get through a situation where you may have 2 workouts in one day that you need to take care of or try to get done or something like that. So, but like I said, at least 3 bikes, 3 runs, and 3 swims per week. We'll get into the strength training later, but that's kind of my goal for my athletes. And the duration kind of depends, like I said, on the distance of the race you're training for and where you are in the training block. And the breakdown of those, you can see in the next point, is one being easy, one being tempo, one being intense for each discipline. So usually, and you'll see point 3 there, the easy workouts is usually covered by a long workout, easy being zone 2. So it's just not totally easy, a little bit of effort, but usually that long workout kind of covers that. So usually people are doing the long workouts on the weekends, so your long bike, your long runs, Saturday and Sunday mixture. Sometimes people mix those in at different times, but those kind of cover the easy workouts. And then there's an intense workout where you're maybe a track session or you're doing speed intervals or something like that, or you're doing power intervals on the bike. And then a tempo workout where you're not all out, but you're not going super easy. It's kind of your race goal, whether it be Olympic, 7.2 Ironman distance, whatever your race pace or race effort is on the bike. That's where you're kind of in that workout. A little bit of the gray area to get your body used to working in those areas. So again, that's just really quick, high profile, high level stuff. Point number 4, sneak in 1 to 2 mile per runs after a bike and after a long bike workout for anyone's cost. So what I like to recommend is if maybe you've got your 9 workouts scheduled out per week, but you want to kind of up your mileage, you want to sneak in a little bit more, especially in the run game. What I like to do is, especially I've got treadmill down with my bike trainer in the basement, or if you have good weather or something like that, go for a bike ride and it's just do a quick 1 to 2 mile run. There's no prep time for changing clothes. There's no cool down to get to the run. There's no warm up for the run. You just hop off your bike, put your shoes on, and you go for a quick run. You come back in and the workout's over. And, maybe it's an extra 8, 10, 12 minutes or something like that to your workout. But, you add that up over time, your 3 bikes per week, if you get in 2 miles each time. So that's 6 additional miles, especially when you're running, when you're really pressed for time. If you're looking to go from 30 to 40 miles per week or something like that for running, 6 extra miles in there will kind of help you out. So that's kind of one of my little secret sauce recipes is just tack it on a little 1 to 2 miles. It's not particularly extra draining, but it does give you a little bit of feeling for jumping off the bike and doing a run. And it adds extra miles in for the run, and it's kind of no additional cost to your overall endurance because you're already sweaty, you're already running. But 1 to 2 miles really isn't going to tax the system. If you add in 6, 7, 8 miles, that might be a little bit overloading. But 1 to 2 miles, even 3 miles, is really not going to add that much more into the system. So something to consider. Swims are hardest to move around and shuffle just because access to the pool is kind of difficult, especially this day and age. I know during the summer my pool changes their lap swim hours, so the only time is in the mornings, and that's my most difficult time to get out of the house and get anything done. So luckily my neighborhood pool has lap swim hours, so I go over there. But those are the kind of the hardest to switch around, especially if you have to go someplace, especially if it's not convenient to slap in and do a workout back to back like a bike and a swim. It's just kind of hard because you got to change your gear, you got to go to a different location. So it's kind of difficult for most people to kind of get those swims in. But do the best you can, especially, if you're not coming from a swimming background, you really want to get those swims in. And like I've kind of alluded to, 2.6, longer distances for the races you're training for, obviously the workouts are going to get longer. Your tempo workouts are going to be longer, your high intensity workouts are going to be longer, and your long workouts are going to be longer. So just be prepared for that as you move into longer distances and into your training block, your peak times, you're going to get into longer distance workouts. But you're still looking at those 3x3, swim, bike, run, 3 of each per week, but they're just going to get longer in those instances. Stacking bricks is an easy way to knock out 2 workouts in a shorter time span. So on my training plans, some days you might have 2 days, you have a bike and a run. For some people, they ask the question, are they meant to be bricks? And unless there's a brick in the title of the workout, they're not meant to be that way, but you can do them as a break if you need to. So a lot of people in the mornings, that's the only time they get. So they get up, they do their bike ride, cut out the cool down, and cut out the warm up for the run, and then roll right into the run and do that. And I usually try to schedule a high intensity bike and then an easy run, or a easy bike ride and a high intensity run. So I don't stack 2 hard workouts in one time. That way, if you do a break, it's not going to totally wipe you out. So that's a good way to kind of capitalize and maximize on your time, is to stack those workouts together and do them as a back-to-back, as a brick, even if they're not really scheduled to be that. It's just a convenient way to kind of maximize your time and efficiency. Straight training, I put it into my plans. I put it in for my athletes, and unfortunately, most of the time, it's just kind of considered a bonus. But if you can't get it done, it will definitely help pay off in the long run as far as longevity in the sport. It will, potentially make you faster as long as you're working the right muscle groups and keeping the core good and all that kind of good stuff. You're stabilizing muscles. It'll all go to a better athletic performance overall. So if you definitely get those in, that's helpful, but it does add to the amount of workouts per week. So some people just don't have that extra time, and it's kind of hard to sneak that in. So you got to pay attention on that. What I do like to see is people knock out their stretching and recovery during the downtime. So if you're sitting around watching TV in the evening or something like that, that's a great time to just do some stretching and some foam rolling or anything like that, and just kind of work on just stretching in general. And just if you're going to do compression boots or any other things, that's a nice time to do it. And it's not necessarily an added workout; it's just downtime. If you're watching TV or something like that, you're relaxing, then you just add that in anyway. And I do get further into it. If you have to cut out anything, at all costs, keep the long workouts as much as possible, the long bike rides and long runs, because if you don't get those and you're doing a 70.3 or you're doing an Ironman distance race, if you're not getting those long workouts in, it's going to be a rough day out there. So you can't just depend on all those other shorter workouts and then not do a 5-hour bike ride, or cut it down to an hour or 2 hours and then expect to have a decent or satisfactory race day experience, because it probably won't happen that way. But just want to run through really quick kind of my vantage point of how many workouts per week you should be doing of each discipline. Hopefully this kind of helps you out, gives you a good idea of where you should be going with this. I did not see any comments in the live feed, so didn't have any questions live. So if you see this later on Facebook, give a like. If you see it on YouTube, give a like, subscribe, hit the notification button to get more video notifications of tips that I do or races. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments, and I'll make sure to check those out later for you. So with that, we'll wrap it up. Have training out there, and we'll see you out there on our next day.